Hello everyone, this is Divya Gupta Kotawala and welcome to our podcast Dear Diary by Ashvika Foundation, and this is my series From the Heart. Women are the largest untapped reservoir of talent. After all, there is no limit to what a woman can ever achieve. So today we have Ankita Sheel Gupta, who makes this quote look so real. With a background of chartered accountancy for 18 years, to being the founder and the chief mompreneur of a big community of 300 plus women known as New Age Mompreneur. She brings so many women together to connect, to collaborate, and become the champion of their own professions. Ankita knows the art of balance between dreams, ambition, and motherhood, managing two toddler twins, and with this community, giving a platform to so many women to come together and shine every single day. So let's welcome Ankita. Hi, Ankita. So happy to have you on a podcast. This has been long pending. We've been planning it since very long. But with all the good work that you're doing, I know it gets difficult. So finally, we are here together.
Thank you so much, Divya, for having me. I always enjoy a conversation with you, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Chalo, I'm glad. So let's just start straight. So tell me something. In our country, it is supposed to say that women know it all. But how do you normalize asking for help when you need it?
I think as leaders, as mothers, our responsibility also to showcase vulnerability ourselves. Like I never Instagram पे when I post, I show the real things like juggling between work. I feel ये जो super mom वाला जो है ना, this is overhyped criteria.
True.
It is okay for us to fail. It is okay for us to delegate. So when as leaders, as entrepreneurs, we show that ki life is not perfect.
Absolutely.
There are going to be some flaws here and there, and when we accept it ourselves, it is people around us. It's easier for them also to accept.
True.
So I always feel by that we need to lead by example.
Okay. No, that's a very good thing. But then I'm sure you've brought a very important point that we all struggle as women today. But then somewhere down the line, I personally feel your upbringing and your values can make a very, very big difference. So what credit do you give to your own upbringing and your values, being the mother and the leader that you're today?
I think upbringing, obviously, Divya, makes a huge lot of difference. I'm a Fauji kid. So we've always seen diverse cultures, open to different places. Like every 2 years, we were posted as kids.
Right.
And my parents, I never felt that I was a girl child. Like in those times, you were also from the same era.
Yeah.
Second girl child was not that much welcomed.
Absolutely.
My dad actually celebrated me. There was a small incident where my mother told me everybody was stressed out when my delivery was due. And so I remember my mom telling me कि nurse ने बताया, and my dad got thrilled and said कि पूरे hospital में लड्डू बंटवाओ.
Okay.
And sister got really stressed thinking कि गलत इनको पता चल गया, लड़का नहीं है, लड़की है. So वो दोबारा जाके उनको धीरे से बोल के आती कि I'm sorry, लड़का नहीं हुआ, लड़की हुई है. And it's like, that's why मेरे पास एक लड़की है, मुझे पता है what is the joy of having a girl child, and that's why I want to celebrate her.
How beautiful is this?
And in our household, like it was normal to have a discussion over meal. Like it was okay to disagree.
Okay.
So that also was a very big part of upbringing because our thoughts are welcome. So I've never faced that issue कि मैं अपने आप को express नहीं कर सकती.
Absolutely.
Because I've always been encouraged. But when I started working, I realized that this was not the norm. Women were not given power to speak even in most good families,
Absolutely.
educated families.
Yeah.
So
some things you feel never change.
Yeah. So I felt that was a privilege I grew up with, and that has made me a person that I am today.
Absolutely. So basically, your father gave you the wings to fly because he was so welcoming of you as a daughter and as a child that gave you so much confidence to be what you. It was same with my father. Obviously, I'm the firstborn in the family. But when my daughter happened, so I was in a big joint setup, and she was the first child of the fourth generation.
Wow.
So everybody, like how modern they say that they are, but they wanted a boy. So when it was a girl, So obviously, I didn't know how to react.
Yes.
And just to pep me up, my father came to my room in the hospital and he said, Chalo, I'm glad your daughter will get 5% extra as a girl child when she gets admission in the college.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that, in a moment when I'm so emotional and so vulnerable, he's telling me this, that as a girl child, your daughter will always get a privilege. So obviously, how you make your daughters feel can make such a big difference. So as a strong daughter of your father, you actually went on to create your own community. And you've launched a new age mompreneur community with 300 plus women. So tell us something about your community.
So I think it was from my personal struggle. Also, I have a diverse career. So I worked in a Big Four firm for 5 years. Then I joined family business. But when I started my own startup as a mom entrepreneur, I said I've done it all.
Yeah.
It is going to be a cakewalk because
Right.
I was involved in family businesses which had 6-7 businesses. But as a solo entrepreneur and as a mom entrepreneur, I felt that the struggles were completely different. I felt judged. I felt misunderstood. If my baby is running a fever, it is a genuine challenge that I'm
Absolutely.
facing.
Absolutely.
It is not an excuse. I'm not trying to get away from my work. I love my work. But for people to not take that seriously really hurt me. Because when you're in a multiple caretaking role and running your business parallelly, there is always some juggling.
Absolutely.
Some days you have to prioritize your work and ignore your child. Some days you have to prioritize your child. They need you
They
at
need
that
you.
moment. So that I felt that there were wonderful communities out there, but nobody was specifically addressing to the challenges which are unique to a mom entrepreneur.
Moms, yeah.
And then from my other communities, I gathered moms. I felt they have so much passion, but nobody is seeing them. And they feel that they're not able to express themselves in a safe space. So that's when we started with just 30 moms.
Wow.
4 years back,
Right.
and I think there has been no looking back. I actually
Totally.
stopped my venture also
Wow.
because I felt that this is my
This
calling.
was your calling.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful, from 30 to 300.
Yeah.
But I absolutely know that feeling. Why this name? But I still want to know that new age mompreneur. Any reason, any idea behind this name?
Yes, everybody knows entrepreneurs. Everybody knows womenpreneurs.
Yes.
But when I started, mompreneur was not even a term.
Yeah.
So I said I want to use this term because it just identifies. We want to spread an awareness that this is a niche category of entrepreneurs who are serious. It's
Serious.
not a hobby business that they're
Absolutely.
running. And new age because we want to use technology, we want to equip people with the skill set that they might not have. So we want to be in line with the world.
Okay.
So we want to use everything that is available as resources and try to be in line with other entrepreneurs in spite of our challenges.
And I think the most important word is moms, because the moms are so welcoming in this group. That's the power of this group,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But Ankita, tell me something. Getting women from all walks of life, different age groups, different backgrounds, different professions, absolutely different thinkings. How difficult it is to get all of them under this umbrella of your community and manage them all so flawlessly, because I know it is not difficult when so many women get together.
Yeah, it is.
Are there
I
any
think-
challenges that you face?
I think with moms, engagement is always a huge challenge because a mom has a limited time. So if you want her time for something, you have to create something very valuable and meaningful for her to take out that time from her family to business. And I've realized that no matter how different you are as a person, you still basic need is respect.
Absolutely.
So everybody needs that respect, recognition, and safe space to express. I think that is what NAM has provided for most people. Like people come back, they say that they are there for business, but they also say that this is our happy place. And that's why we sometimes fight at home and come to a NAM meetup because we want to be there
How
for
lovely.
the NAM meetup. So from first 2 years were COVID years for our community, and we didn't meet up at all. But when we opened up the meetup, I still remember the first meetup, we had to get 30 sign-ups for the conference room that we had booked. And we were not even sure how we will get these people out of their homes and their comfort zone. And one meetup in a month we were doing at that time. So there to now, our meetups are full. Even
Okay.
like if it's 100 meetup spot, it's full.
Wow.
And we do almost meet up every week, and people are coming and supporting the community, and they're supporting each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me, Ankita, from boardroom to motherhood, you've seen it all. But how has motherhood taught you the biggest lesson to be the leader that you're today?
I think I've learned so much from my education, from my work experience, but I've learned agility from motherhood. No, I was a control freak before I became a mom. Everything I like to plan in advance and go as per the plan. And anything little bit here and there initially would cause stress for me. But as a mom, I've realized chaos is a part of your life.
Yeah.
Anything can change last minute, and you have to plan and prepare and
Yeah.
stay calm in that moment.
Yes.
So I think that motherhood has actually taught me, especially with twins.
Yes,
Boys.
I was about to come
Yeah.
to that. That not even one, you're managing two toddlers.
So with twins around, with work, with multiple communities that I'm managing now, I also have responsibility of my family business.
Absolutely.
After I lost my dad,
Hmm.
so it's always a situation where things will not go as per plan.
Totally.
At the last minute, you will have to find out a solution, and that is what motherhood has actually taught me.
Taught you and helped you in your leadership. But yeah, of course, you've gone through a personal loss. Was there a time in life when you completely felt that, you're lost, you don't know what to do? And what helped you to bounce back?
So actually, that I've gone through a very personal loss very recently. So I
Yes.
think that was the time I felt completely lost, because my dad was my lifeline. Every time I had a problem, I would call him up, and he would just flawlessly give me a solution for it. He was such a guy, he would never say no. He said, even if he don't have a solution, he would say, let me think and come back to you.
Yes. There was never a no.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was so used to functioning with him on a day-to-day basis, and I've always stayed home. Like,
Okay.
I never stayed in a hostel, so home
Okay.
was my safe space.
Yeah.
I was working with them, so weekends also I used to go back to my home, stay there. So for me, without him, functioning without him, I was totally lost. I didn't know why I'm doing whatever I'm doing, because I felt that a part of me also wanted to prove to him that I'm equally worthy.
True.
I want to be like him.
True.
So that's why I'm doing things to showcase to him that I'm like him in so many ways. So when he was not there, I completely lost my motivation to work as well.
Absolutely.
So I think for a lot of time I didn't open up, but then I realized I have taken a brief grief therapy with Millen as well, and I felt that helped me rediscover, connect with my dad again through various methods that she told me, and now he's part of me. I carry him in everything I do.
Lovely.
I talk to him on my low days. I talk to him on my happy days.
He's your
I
guiding
write-
angel.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
write to him through my journals.
How beautiful.
So
But I know we've both gone through a similar situation and dealt with it in our own ways. But this is so true that, when we lose a loved one, we know there is a guiding angel up there, always guiding us, blessing us, and we do get answers only if we believe in them. There are people who tell you that, are you for real in today's world? But believe me, there are days when, I'm so low, I'm so shattered, but I know there is a sign that makes me believe that he's looking over me, and it is such a big assurance. So you've just spoken about taking a grief therapy, and I also did that. There was a lot of grief counseling involved when I was going through a personal loss. What are your views on mental health? And how strongly you feel that it is very important to work on your mental health to be the person that you are today?
I think it's still a taboo in India. I feel it's not still enough talked about, which is unfortunate, because in the West, like, therapy is part of your workout gym routine.
Absolutely.
And in school, kids are recommended therapy. At work, people are recommended therapy. But in India, the mental status is, if somebody is taking therapy, the first question I got asked is, why? What is wrong with you?
Absolutely.
Why? I said I got through a huge loss,
Yes.
and I want to speak about it.
Yeah.
But the people were like, we've gone through losses,
Yeah.
and it will be over
Yours
with
is
time.
very different. Yeah.
It will be
Yeah.
over with time. Grief never gets over with
Never.
time, and the mental state you are in, anyways, as a mom, is a very hard mental state that you go.
Yes,
you
because
be-
you're managing so many roles,
Yes.
and each and every role around you wants you to be perfect.
Yes.
But inside you, you're so shattered and broken
Yes.
that you can't give them
Yes.
what they are wanting.
I also feel that you can't fill your somebody else's cup if your own cup is
Absolutely.
not full.
Totally.
So I think that is why mental health is so important. And I still remember when I had my babies, and my pregnancy was not an easy pregnancy. It is another story for another day. But
Okay.
it was very hard pregnancy, and when it happened, I was so happy. But when my babies came in and they were in NICU, I could not connect with them.
Oh.
I just felt guilt that I have done something wrong, and that is why they're in NICU. They've come premature. So that time I had major mental health issues, self-doubt issues, but there was nobody to guide me.
Okay.
And I was in such a terrible state because everybody who would come is like, wow, you have twins, you must be super
You were
thrilled."
lost, yeah.
But I was not super thrilled. I was just exhausted all the time.
Oh.
I didn't know what to do with them because they were so tiny. I always, like, when they were giving trainings at NICU also, my husband was so much better and confident, and I just felt that I might just drop my baby because they're so
Okay.
tiny.
Huh.
And probably it's my fault that they've come in early.
Huh.
So it took me actually a few months to actually start enjoying the motherhood. But
Oh.
first few months were really hard.
Okay.
And nobody actually told me that it's okay to say that out loud. I can say out loud because now I
Now
know
you
that I
can,
feel.
yeah.
But at that moment, I never expressed myself because everybody who came said, "Oh, Ankita, you must be so happy." So that expectation to stay happy and not say what inside your heart is very hard.
Very.
So because you feel that you are doing something wrong, that you're not happy.
Totally.
So-
that guilt, that
Yes.
mom's guilt.
Yes. So I think it's still a taboo, and I feel that it's need to be talked more. We need to normalize such things.
Absolutely.
And therapy is, if it's part of your life, I feel it's wonderful because you have an outlet to
Yeah.
express yourself.
Absolutely.
If you have a loved ones, you can talk to people, then go to them. But you should definitely
You should.
express your feelings somewhere.
Very true. I think that's the main, cause of Ashvika Foundation, because, we say it is so important for our mind, body, and soul
Yes.
to align together, because until unless all three are in coordination, you are not the
Yes.
person that you are.
Yes.
And because if one is affected, your whole life is badly affected.
Yes.
So it's very important to work on our mental health. And I totally understand what you mean to say that, if you don't speak up, then this is a slow poison that you're living with, and it will eventually bring only worse results. It will not make you a better person.
Yes.
But you are doing so much for women out there. There are women who are getting connected to a community and growing. But there is still a major section of society,
Yes.
especially the women that the foundation is dealing
Yes.
with, who are still underprivileged. They also, like you and the moms in your community, want to do so much, but they just can't. They are lost. So, any ideas how we can help them and make them, give them a better life?
Yes, I feel as an entrepreneur, you can actually empower and employ. You have the power to do that.
Okay.
So, a lot of my team is all women's team as well. And a lot of entrepreneurs who are women and gone through struggles, they understand women challenges. So a lot of entrepreneurs are trying to hire and empower women from underprivileged here and set up a all women's team. So I
Okay.
think as entrepreneurs, it is our responsibility to work with vendors or artisans or women who needs a livelihood.
Okay.
And that's how I feel as a
You can give
business.
back, huh?
Business, we can support them, not
Okay.
try to negotiate them, empower
Okay.
them, give them work. They're so talented women.
They're so talented, but they don't have opportunities which
Yeah.
maybe you and I have. So you mean to say that through your community,
Yes.
you can help women create opportunities to employ such women
Yes.
and give them a better livelihood.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea.
Yes, another is as a community we run various initiatives, drives, whether it's women empowerment, women education, food drives. So we, as a community, also we try to run these drives. So recently, also we did few months back, we did a drive with Lenskart Foundation.
Okay.
Where we collected more than 500 glasses so that they can empower people who have eyesight issues in
Okay.
the regions which cannot afford glasses and eyesight checks.
Acha.
So as a community, we also
You're
indulge
doing
into these kind
constantly.
of drives.
That's so lovely, and it's so nice that when women can think out of the box, so much positive change can come. So that brings me to our last question. So who is the real Ankita? The one who's the chief mompreneur in the community meetings, or the one who's packing tiffins for her kids at home every morning?
Yeah, so it's actually both.
Okay.
I would say motherhood and entrepreneurship is both messy and magical together.
Yeah.
So I love to cook, but I don't get time to cook. So I definitely make sure that I pack tiffins for my kids. They love colorful stuff, shapes and all. So
Yeah.
I make sure that I've trained my staff to make this, use cookie cutters to make these shape food items for them.
Okay.
And I love my work also, so I have to leave them sometimes and step out for work. So I feel that's still okay.
Still okay.
Like it's still me. It's not that I'm ignoring them. I leave my guilt behind whenever I'm stepping out because if I'm not happy, I can't make them happy. And I also feel that when children see their moms working, especially boys, it is our responsibility to train our boys as well.
Absolutely.
And when they have women later in their professional life, they have more respect for women because they've seen the struggles in their
True.
own family and
True.
how important it is for your own family to have that empowerment that women should work.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
they should not be the sacrificing person always.
Totally. And it's such a beautiful thought that if your own vessel is empty, you definitely can't fill others' cups. So thank you so much, Ankita. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience to understand. And I'm happy to meet a mother who doesn't live in that mom guilt because, a lot of mothers do till today. But, my only reply to them is, why are you finding the word guilt? Learn to be happy, because if you're happy, you can make so many others happy, and you're doing it every day. And you even make my belief even stronger that behind every strong woman there is always a woman, which is hard to believe in today's world, but you make my belief stronger. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank
Means
you.
a lot.
Thank you so much, Divya, for having me. It
Pleasure.
was really lovely.
Pleasure. Thank you.